All right. So the question is, what would happen to a country's trade deficit if their investment spending fell at the same time as when nothing else is unchanged, right? So nothing else changes, right? So private savings, S, and government savings or public savings, which is tax revenue minus government spending, remains the same while investment spending falls, right? So the trade deficit happens to be equal to investment minus total savings, right? Minus private savings and public savings. And so we see from this equation that, well, if investment spending fell, right? So investment spending fell, so there's a decrease in investments and investment spending. Well, then that means that the right-hand side of the equation is going to fall since these other things are not changing. And since these things must be equal to each other, the entire left-hand side of the equation must fall as well. And since the left-hand side of the equation is the trade deficit, that means that the trade deficit would fall, right? And one way to make sense of this is that, well, if investment spending falls, that means that the firms engaging in this investment spending, they won't need to borrow as much, or maybe they can't borrow as much. Either way, they're not borrowing as much in order to finance that investment spending. And so, since they're not borrowing as much, that means that the net supply of financial capital from abroad would decrease, right? And since the net supply of financial capital from abroad is equal to the trade deficit, that's why, since the national supply of financial capital from abroad is decreasing, that means that the trade deficit would be falling as well, right? So a decrease in investment spending would lead to a decrease in the trade deficit. All right, we're done, and thanks for watching.